Justin Herbert and the Los Angeles Chargers got a great win over their division rival in Week 6, and they will be flying to Arizona for the second Monday Night Football game in Week 7 to take on Kyler Murray and the Arizona Cardinals, who suffered a tough loss today against the Green Bay Packers. My name's Tyler, here with my brother Ryan, and we're going to break down this Week 7 matchup between the Los Angeles Chargers and Arizona Cardinals. We're going to talk about the matchups within the game that you need to watch, and at the very end of the video, provide our predictions on who we think is going to win and why. But before we get into that, we do have a goal of getting to 100 new subscribers for these Week 7 prediction videos that we have going out here. We've been able to hit that goal over the past several weeks thanks to all of our new members of the channel. So if this is your first time here, or if you have not already, go ahead and subscribe to the Tracy Take. Leave a like and a comment. Let us know who you think is going to win and why. So, Ryan, Los Angeles Chargers coming off their bye, look very efficient. I think a very solid defensive performance, especially even too without Asante Samuel Jr. as well. Justin Herbert looks solid. The running game looks solid, like how we expected, led by J.K. Dobbins as well. And on the flip side then too, Arizona Cardinals had a tough game against Green Bay in Lambeau. Defense was really no match at all for Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers offense. Luckily for them, this Los Angeles Chargers is nowhere near as fluid, I think, as the Green Bay Packers offense can be. However, they can run the ball a lot. What do you think are some of the things the Cardinals need to improve on here? And even then, too, since they have this extra day for Monday Night Football, to maybe try and slow down this Chargers rushing game, which is top 10 so far in the league on average rushing yards per game as well. And just maybe any type of improvement on the defensive side of the ball to maybe, hopefully, they don't find out how to pass the ball more efficiently. You're on mute.
One of the things I think they need to do is just get healthier. Looking at Kaiser White, Bilal Nichols, Joey Blount, Sean Murphy-Bunting, all those guys left the game today with injuries. Like on top of that, they're already missing Darius Robinson, who is expected to hopefully return. I guess his it says his estimated return date is this game, but it says he was put on IR on October 11th, so that's not possible. But like just Justin Jones, Elijah Jones, BJ Ojolari, like they already have a lot of injuries on this defense side of the ball, so they need to make sure that they can stay healthy. And then I think the first priority is going to be stopping the run. This, like you said, this is a top 10 rushing team. Putting an extra guy in the box, maybe playing with an extra linebacker, I think is going to be a big thing there. And honestly, you look at this Chargers wide receiver group, they'll take the one-on-one matchups. Ladd McConkey's a rookie. He's banged up. Quentin Johnston got a little banged up in today's game, had to go through concussion protocol, but cleared it and was able to come back into the game itself. And so, like, they have some good tight ends. Hayden Hurst also left for the Chargers, and I do not believe he returned to the matchup. So, like, so they have some weaknesses on that offensive side of the ball. The biggest thing is they've just been able to establish the run, this offense. Then they can go to the play action game. Justin Herbert is very accurate and efficient in that as well. So, like, they have some strengths, but they also have some weaknesses that I think this Cardinals team can exploit. Speaking of healthy, I'm sure all Cardinals fans are aware Marvin Harrison Jr. left with a concussion. Hopefully he can clear it in time. If he's not able to go, that is a really big loss for this Cardinals offense. But hopefully he can make it back into in clear concussion protocol before this matchup and go from there.
Yeah, no, that's going to be probably, question number one is Marvin Harrison Jr. going to play? Is just because nothing against Michael Wilson or Trey McBride or Greg Dortch, but even to having Marvin Harrison Jr. in the game even opens things up for the running game. And that was one of the things I noticed today is that it was just overall struggle in general. The Packers are the superior team. They're just more consistent overall. But it when Marvin Harrison Jr. wasn't on the field, you could just tell, especially even with this Cardinals team on the rushing side. I mean, only rushed for 89 yards for this Cardinals team just isn't acceptable, nor is it expected. The Cardinals are, let me double check here, 7th overall in rushing yards allowed now at this point in the season after today's game. And one of the things, too, that them rushing the ball so well, it really allows them to control the clock a lot more because they really don't want this defense on the field at all. And so, as you said earlier, they're dealing with all the injuries, but as of right now, defensive wise, 28th in overall total yards allowed, 22nd in passing yards allowed. But most importantly, that's kind of why I brought up earlier about the rushing stats, 29th in rushing yards allowed. And if you look at the Chargers team, as we mentioned, 10th overall in rushing offense. But a lot of that is because they just don't have the playmakers yet. There's really young receiving core and still trying to grow into that. So they do rely on a lot of rushing yards. Well, J.K. Dobbins had a solid game today, and I think that's going to be the thing for the Chargers is like, I think for the Chargers, it's going to be status quo. Let's keep doing the same thing that we did this past week. Efficient football, minimize any mistakes. Didn't really make too much mistakes today until the fourth quarter. I even mistakes is loosely. They just kind of went into prevent defense because they're like, Broncos are going to score. Let's just take as long a time as possible for them to score, not give up any super big plays. So they went into prevent defense, and I think that's going to be the Chargers game plan. That's going to be the Chargers game plan probably every single week. They're probably going to play the same way every single time because they have a really solid defense. They have one of the best quarterbacks in the league. They have, when healthy, one of the better offensive lines in the league, and they can run, I think, against most teams. So that's going to be just the way that they have to play football this year until they get even a better young receiving core. On the flip side, though, the Cardinals, they need to be able to run the ball because that's going to open things up for the passing game. And they're going to need their number one pass catcher there, and Martin Harrison Jr. Because if he's not there, it's going to make it really tough to run the ball because they're going to be able to put another guy in the box as well. And this Cardinals defense, I think they're going to give the Chargers the opportunity to look like they're one of the better passing teams in the league as well, just with how much injuries they have and just overall inefficiencies, unfortunately, they have on that side of the ball.
Yeah, and I think you look like when this Cardinals team is playing well, James Conner is having a good game. Like they're feeding him the ball, getting Kyler Murray out in space, and like just an overall like well-rounded offense. And I know that's very like elementary to say because if you want to have a well-rounded offense, but this team, especially with the lack of playmakers on the outside, they need to be balanced. They need to keep this defense defending every blade of grass because they don't have the guys to go one-on-one and just win those matchups.
But yeah, well, and that's one with the Cardinals. They're 24th in passing yards allowed. Sorry, in passing yards. On offense. If we go look at their games, it's not really like they're lighting up the stat sheet. The most passing yards they've had in a game is 258. And so they've had multiple games where they have 4 games where they have 200 passing yards or less. Today they barely hit 215. 214. They didn't even hit 215. So it's that's just where it's even more crucial for them to control that ball and control the clock. And so, and I guess the same could absolutely be said for Los Angeles Chargers as well. They don't want to get behind. They don't want to have to be forced to throw the ball on all 3 downs and have to have Justin Herbert throw the ball 40 or 50 times a game. I think they wouldn't mind him throwing 40 or 50 times a game if they had a better receiving room. But they just have a young receiving room. McConkey and Quentin Johnson just need to keep improving, and they're on their right track. We do have Josh Palmer as well. So I think it's going to be I think it's going to be an interesting game. I think for to watch it, especially too, it's going to be like a 9 p.m. Eastern time game. So we're going to be up late that night watching. But going to predictions, though, I do think the Chargers are going to win this game here. I just think they're just going to be more consistent and more efficient with the ball.
Yeah, I mean, I think you look at what they've done so far this season. They have I don't want to say like a real lack of talent on the offensive side of the ball. I would say a lack of experience at the skill position players on the offensive side of the ball, where like J.K. Dobbins has been in the league for a while, but he hasn't really been able to stay healthy throughout any point of his NFL career. Ladd McConkey's a rookie. Quentin Johnson is a second-year receiver. Like there's a lot of young playmakers, and I know they have Josh Palmer and a few other guys, but with that being said, Justin Herbert is doing such a good job of bringing those guys up to speed and getting them into good situations, putting the ball in the right place, making it easy for these receivers to go make plays. And then you couple that, they are a top 10 rushing team in the league. And I just think it's a really good like offense for this team. And then they still play good defense on top of it. So all in all, I just think the Chargers are going to be a more well-rounded team, and I think they come away with this one.
Yeah.
So
Thanks.
let's go ahead, wrap this one up here. If you guys have not already, please go ahead and like and subscribe. If you have not, it's the best way to help out the channel. While you're down there, go ahead and leave a comment on who you think is going to come out ahead. Will it be the Los Angeles Chargers? Will it be the Arizona Cardinals? And that we'll see you guys next time.